Hi guys and welcome back to the show. I finally got a bench vise. This one is from Axminster. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get this thing unboxed and mounted into the bench. This is a 390mm Axminster trade vise with one screw, made by York Vices. I got the deepest vise my bench could hold, without pieces of it sticking out back. Luke, I am Nomad makes. The top of my workbench is mounted with a bit of overhang, which is good for clamping stuff down to it. But with the vise, I need it to be flush with the frame. To dismantle the vise, this locking thingamabob needs to come off, and it was a bit tricky. Don't get me wrong, you can just rip it off, but this part has quite a spring to it, so you don't want to spend the next 6 hours looking for the piece that went flying. I don't know what it is with me and spade bits. Maybe this one is too aggressive, but I never seem to become friends with these. Out comes the Forstner bits. The vise backplate needs a more solid base than the 3/4 inch plywood I have used as my worktop. So I cut a piece of scrap on my miter saw. This used to be one of the uprights of my floor standing lumber rack, by the way. And I shall spare you the vista of me crawling down into this position in full workshop gear. For the jaws I chose to use this 2x8 pine. If it is too soft I will make new ones in oak later. But for now the oak I have is reserved for another project that you will get a sneak peek of at the end of the video. Hear that brake kick in, guys? It's fantastic! If I had made a zero clearance insert for this saw, this would not have happened. Or I could just have used the masking tape trick. I know I told you guys to say goodbye to the DeWALT DWE7485, but lo and behold I had more footage of me using this saw. The guys that follow my channel will know that this saw has been sold and replaced by a Laguna Fusion 3 cabinet. The reason I'm cross-cutting this on the sled and not on my miter saw is that the fence on my miter saw is in need of adjustment. I just use it for rough cuts now. And if you want to see how I make this basic cross-cut sled, I'll put the link in the top right corner and also in the video description. If it is not obvious from the video, I am drilling the holes a bit oversized to leave enough space for the axles and vice screw. I will resaw this piece on the table saw to get both the front and the back jaw. You may think that this will be too weak, but Baby Vader assured me it would be more than strong enough. According to the manual, the outer jaw needs a camber of 2 degrees. The resaw cut was good, but not perfect, so I cleaned up the inner jaw with my standard number 4. I couldn't figure out a safe way to cut the whole camber on the table saw, so I did this with the hand plane as well. And the bench dogs you see me using here I printed on my Ender 3 3D printer. The plans for those are supposed to be available on my Thingiverse page. This is my Stanley Handyman H1247 block plane with the front knob still missing, and it is great for easing over corners. I really don't like the look of bare pine, and I wanted to see how pine ages with linseed oil, so I had a bright idea of putting oil on these jaws, which was fine I guess, but I should not have oiled the inside of them. I have no clue as to where I made the mistake here, but a quick trip to the table saw fixed the height of the jaws, although I left them slightly proud so that I could refine the top using a hand plane. To use as a spacer, I borrowed a card from the deck we use when me and the guys play Texas Hold'em. I will make sure to let them know about the missing ace. As you can see, I'm not going for a flush mounted vise. There's a lot of back and forth about this out there on the ether. But after watching Paul Sellers fix clamps in his vise, I decided to leave the inner jaw protruding like this. If I change my mind in the future, all I have to do is to remove the inner jaw. The front jaw needs to be fixed slightly loose, but these screws were not enough, so off camera I drilled and countersunk new holes and fixed the front jaw with the through bolts. Then there was the issue with the linseed oil on the inside of the jaws. So I tried sanding the inside of the jaws, but that really didn't work. When I rested the workpiece on the axles, it kinda worked with the Stanley number 4, so I tried with my number 7. I mean, the planes cut nicely, but the jaws were just too weak. And for all of you naysayers out there that have been screaming at the screen saying that this will never work, check this out. Ooh. Yeah. It had to happen. Because it's too weak. Well, it didn't work. So I made another piece of 2x8 for the front jaw. Now I need a handle, and you can see the full video of how I made that in my lathe repair video, but here's a quick TLDR. Being a novice turner, there was a hole left by the spindle, and I filled that with a dowel. And with a new and stronger front jaw, without oil on this time, the vise grips really firmly. The pine scrap here is not resting on the axles. And this is a piece of rock hard, really old white oak. My regular viewers will maybe have noticed that this is some old footage, and since you have made it this far, here are some bonus footage that is a sneak peek on a project I'm currently working on, and a tip on using this kind of vise after I've used it for a while. Since there's only one screw in this vise, it tends to skew if you only have your workpiece in one side. Now I'm taking the top rail here and I want to screw that or fix that here. And that really won't do in this vise, but what I've done is that I've taken some of the extra pieces that I've made and I just fixed one of my DIY 3D printed clamps there so it won't fall off. And it's the same thickness as all of the rest of the parts. So then I can just screw the vise in like this, and the vise is giving equal clamping force on both sides, and it really works well. So that's a little quick tip from the Nomad. But again, that is it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to leave a thumbs up. If this is your first visit to my channel, please consider subscribing. Should you want to support me, you'll find a Patreon link and affiliate links to products I use and recommend below. If you don't feel like that, you can help by telling your friends about the channel on your social media of choice. And if you want to stay up to date with my current projects, check me out on Instagram. Cheers, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.